Welcome to part 2 of the best single-player games you absolutely need to try. Today, I've got a bunch of amazing titles lined up, and I'm more than confident at least one of them will become your new favorite. And don't worry, even though this video turned out quite long, it's just a fraction of everything I've prepared. Plenty of awesome games are still ahead, so I promise there's much more to surprise you with in the future. Let's dive in. Death Stranding 2 carries forward an extraordinary journey through a world where the boundary between life and death is blurred, and the past seems to dissolve into the present. After events that forever changed the course of history, what remains is a fragile realm scattered with mysterious traces of a lost civilization. Invisible forces and inexplicable phenomena lurk at every turn, making each step forward a careful move through unseen dangers. This journey isn't simply about moving across landscapes. It's a deep search for the fragile threads that hold the world together. Taking on the role of a courier, you carry precious cargo through fragmented corners of this shattered world, weaving connections like fragile threads of hope. Every passage tests cleverness and endurance. It's not just about overcoming obstacles. It's about carefully managing weight, gear condition, and constantly adapting your approach. Since every stretch of land can hold surprises, from natural disasters to supernatural anomalies. This is a place without typical combat, but instead challenges you to observe carefully, understand patterns, and use the terrain to your advantage. Hidden dangers can appear without warning, and how you respond decides whether you avoid disaster or have to find a new path. All of this creates the sensation that the world is not merely a backdrop, but a living organism responding to your actions. This is not just a tale of facing external trials, but a voyage inward, where fear and hope walk side by side, and every step unveils new facets of this strangely magnetic world. In The Evil Within 2, you step back into the fractured mind of Sebastian Castellanos, a broken man haunted by the death of his daughter Lily and drowning his grief in alcohol, when shockingly his former partner arrives, revealing that Lily is still alive, but she's stuck within another STEM-generated world called Union. Sebastian reluctantly returns to this simulated nightmare to find her. As you inhabit Sebastian's world, you'll traverse the illusion of Union, a once idyllic American town, now falling apart around you. The simulation warps sanity and space. Rooms shift inexplicably, familiar scenes twist into uncanny architecture, and reality becomes fluid. Stealth is indispensable. You'll often sneak past cut-down corpses or slip behind shrieking monstrosities to neutralize them quietly. But when stealth fails, you resort to crude weaponry, from shotguns that blast enemies into gore, to crossbows with specialized bolts. You'll need to use whatever you can find to survive in this place. Strained paternal devotion, guilt-driven determination, and a fragile sense of hope transform Sebastian from a haunted wreck into a man rebuilding meaning amid collapsing illusions. Step into ancient Greece during the height of the Peloponnesian War, a time of fractured alliances, legendary heroes, and rising empires. As Cassandra or Alexios, a mercenary disowned by family and driven by fate, you carve out your own legend across a sprawling, unpredictable world shaped by war and myth. The open world is vast and alive, from marble temples and lively city-states to sun-soaked islands and wild mountain terrain. On land, combat feels fast and weighty, combining light and heavy strikes, special abilities, and stealth tactics. Whether sneaking through guarded villas or clashing head-on in large-scale battles, the freedom to approach each encounter your own way is constant. Gear can be customized and upgraded, with skill trees letting you specialize in different combat styles. At sea, the Adrestia becomes your second home. Hunt down enemies, upgrade your ship, and recruit unique crew members whose skills enhance your fighting power. Every journey across the water can turn into a fight for survival. Choices run deeper than dialogue. You decide who to trust, who to love, and who to betray. Each major decision can ripple through the story, altering relationships and ultimately how your Odyssey ends. Doom is a first-person shooter that revitalizes the iconic series with high-speed combat and a robust arsenal of weapons. Players assume the role of the Doom Slayer, a formidable warrior awakened to confront demonic forces that have overrun a Martian research facility. The game emphasizes swift movement and relentless action, encouraging players to stay on the move and engage in close-quarters combat. The single-player campaign features 13 levels, each offering multiple pathways and open areas to explore. Players can discover collectibles, secrets, and upgrades to enhance their equipment. The glory kill mechanic allows players to replenish health by executing melee attacks on weakened enemies, adding a visceral element to the gameplay. Set against the turbulent backdrop of Japan's late Sengoku period, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice tells the tale of a shinobi known as Wolf. Orphaned amidst the chaos of war, he is adopted by a wandering warrior named Owl and trained in the clandestine arts. Determined with safeguarding a young lord who bears a mystical dragon heritage, a bloodline granting the power of immortality, Wolf faces a grave challenge when the Ashina clan seeks to exploit Kuro's power to secure their dominion. The narrative unfolds as Wolf embarks on a perilous mission to rescue his abducted master, confronting formidable adversaries and unraveling deep-seated conspiracies. The storyline delves into themes of loyalty, honor, and a human seeking power and redemption. Gameplay in Sekiro emphasizes precise swordsmanship, focusing on posture and balance rather than traditional health depletion. You will need to learn the art of deflection, timing your block to weaken the opponents, and create opportunities for decisive death blows. Ori and the Blind Forest is a critically acclaimed platform adventure game that has captivated thousands with its compelling narrative, stunning visuals, and fascinating gameplay. In this Metroidvania-style game, you will control a mysterious creature named Ori as it embarks on a journey to save the forest of Nibel from impending doom. The gameplay emphasizes exploration, puzzle-solving, and platforming, with Ori acquiring new abilities that unlock previously inaccessible areas. The Soul Link system allows you to create safe points at any location, adding a strategic element to the gameplay. It has been recognized as a significant example of video games as an art form, with its dreamlike sensitivity and emotional depth. Quantum Break unfolds in the city of Riverport, where a time travel experiment spirals into catastrophe. Jack Joyce, caught in the aftermath, acquires abilities to manipulate time, slowing, freezing, and dashing through moments. His former friend, Paul Serene, also gains powers, but chooses a different path, leading Monarch Solutions, a corporation intent on controlling the fractured timeline. As time itself begins to collapse, Jack must navigate a world where the past and future intertwine, confronting personal betrayals and the looming end of reality. The story is structured around 5 acts, each followed by a live-action episode that shifts based on choices made during pivotal junction points. These decisions, made from Paul Serene's perspective, influence how the narrative unfolds and reveal different angles of the story. Combat weaves Jack's time abilities with third-person shooting, creating fast, fluid battles where enemies can be frozen mid-motion or overwhelmed by a sudden burst of action. Environmental challenges also tap into time manipulation, asking for creative solutions to progress through areas where time itself is broken, with objects and structures caught in chaotic loops. Visually, the game captures dramatic scenes where time anomalies paint frozen moments. With cinematic live-action sequences, Quantum Break dives deep into the consequences of power, the weight of choice, and the struggle against forces far beyond human control. In a neon-lit city where chaos reigns and absurdity is the norm, a failed energy drink has transformed the populace into grotesque mutants. As one of the few unscathed survivors, you navigate this vibrant urban jungle, armed with an arsenal of outlandish weapons and an unyielding spirit. The metropolis is a playground of possibilities, where every street corner and rooftop offers new opportunities for mayhem and discovery. Movement is fluid and exhilarating, with the ability to grind on rails, wall run, and leap across buildings, creating a dynamic and fast-paced traversal system. Combat is equally dynamic, combining acrobatic agility with a diverse range of unconventional firearms, each more imaginative than the last. The environment is alive with color and energy, reflecting a world that thrives on creativity and chaos. Amidst the madness, a satirical narrative unfolds, poking fun at corporate greed and societal norms. The story is peppered with eccentric characters and unexpected twists, keeping the tone lighthearted even as the stakes rise. Humor is woven into every aspect, from the dialogue to the gameplay mechanics, ensuring that even in the face of an apocalypse, the fun never stops. This game is a celebration of unrestrained imagination, offering an entertaining and unpredictable experience. Black Mesa is a reimagined journey through the Black Mesa Research Facility, where a routine experiment spirals into catastrophe. As Gordon Freeman, a theoretical physicist, you navigate the aftermath of a resonance cascade that tears open a rift to the alien dimension Zen, unleashing otherworldly creatures into the facility. The situation worsens when a military unit arrives, not to rescue, but to eliminate all witnesses, throwing you into a conflict against both alien invaders and human forces. The game unfolds across 19 meticulously redesigned chapters. You'll traverse diverse environments, from the stark corridors of research labs to the desolate expanses of the New Mexico desert, and ultimately the surreal landscapes of Zen. The revamped Zen levels, once criticized in the original Half-Life, now offer a visually rich and expansive experience, transforming them into a highlight of the game. Shootouts are dynamic, featuring an array of weapons ranging from conventional firearms to experimental alien technology. Enemy behavior has been refined, presenting more strategic challenges and interactions. The iconic crowbar remains a staple in your arsenal, symbolizing Freeman's resilience. Narrative depth is enriched through environmental storytelling and character interactions. Incidental dialogues and background events contribute to a sense of a living, breathing facility, adding layers to the unfolding disaster. The mysterious G-Man's appearances throughout the game add an element of intrigue, hinting at larger forces at play. Black Mesa stands as a testament to dedicated craftsmanship, offering a fresh yet faithful rendition of a classic tale. Whether you're revisiting the story or experiencing it anew, the game delivers a compelling and richly detailed adventure through one of science fiction's most iconic settings. Limbo follows the journey of a young boy who awakens in a shadowy, monochrome world, searching for his missing sister. This strange realm feels both silent and unsettling, filled with unseen dangers and subtle threats that lurk just out of sight. The atmosphere is thick with mystery and tension, where every step carries a quiet weight and the sense that something could happen at any moment. The gameplay focuses on exploration and puzzle solving, requiring sharp attention and timing to navigate through the environment's many hazards. Limbo feels like stepping into a dark fairy tale, and when this adventure finally ends, it will leave more questions than answers. Resident Evil 2 transports you to a nightmarish version of Raccoon City, where a catastrophic viral outbreak has transformed its citizens into ravenous zombies. You will navigate this perilous environment through the eyes of two distinct characters: Leon Kennedy, a rookie police officer on his first day, and Claire Redfield, a college student in search of her missing brother, Chris. Their intertwined stories offer varied perspectives on the city's descent into chaos, with each character facing unique challenges and uncovering different facets of the unfolding horror. You have to scavenge for limited ammunition and health supplies, making every encounter a test of strategy and nerve. The introduction of formidable foes, such as the relentless Mr. X, heightens the tension, keeping you on edge all the way to the ending credits. In God of War, you take on the role of Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, now much older but still dangerous. The past clings to him like a second skin, etched into every scar and silent glance. The gods are no longer distant forces. They bleed, rage, and watch your every step along these snowy paths. And now, after years of silence, you venture into a foreign land where every shadow hides a threat, waiting for you to show weakness. The axe in your hand isn't just a weapon, it's the last thread connecting you to a life you tried to bury. Every swing, every clash echoes with a rawness that never lets you forget what's at stake. But this is not a journey of vengeance. It's something harder. You're trying to raise a boy in a world that doesn't forgive weakness, and you don't even know if you're teaching him right. You speak little, he talks too much. But through snowstorms, shattered temples, ancient monsters, and riddles left by a world that died screaming, you start to understand each other. The landscape doesn't open all at once, it reveals itself. Not with markers and flashing signs, but with quiet moments and questions that pull you deeper. And through it all, you feel the old ways pulling at you, the sleeping fury, the craving violence, the god you were trying not to be. But there's no clean escape from that. Only the choice to keep moving forward, even when the past whispers your name. Batman Arkham Knight is an action-adventure game. It serves as the fourth main installment in the Batman Arkham series. The game is set 9 months after the events of Arkham City, following Batman as he confronts Scarecrow, who has launched an attack on Gotham City and caused a citywide evacuation. Scarecrow, with the help of the mysterious Arkham Knight, plots to unite all of Gotham's criminals in an attempt to finally destroy Batman. The game is presented from a third-person perspective, with the primary focus on Batman melee combat, stealth abilities, detective skills, and gadgets. Batman can freely move around the open world of Gotham City, interacting with characters and undertaking missions. You'll be able to complete the side missions away from the main story to unlock additional content and collectible items. Combat focuses on chaining attacks together against numerous foes while avoiding damage, while stealth allows Batman to conceal himself around an area, using gadgets and the environment to silently eliminate enemies. Baldur's Gate 3 is an acclaimed role-playing game set in the expansive Dungeons & Dragons universe. It brings the rich world of Faerun to life with cutting-edge graphics, deep narrative choices, and a turn-based combat system. Players create a customizable character and explore a vast, interactive world full of quests, powerful enemies, and intriguing allies. The game features multiplayer co-op gameplay, allowing friends to join forces, and an epic single-player story where choices can lead to numerous possible outcomes. Set after the events of Baldur's Gate 2, the game introduces new threats as players encounter a dangerous parasitic force that threatens their very minds. In Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, you become Grayson Hunt, a disgraced assassin stranded on the decaying resort planet Stygia. Torn between revenge and survival, you tear through waves of mutants and outlaws in an over-the-top shooter that thrives on creativity and carnage. The game's skill shot system rewards outrageous kills, kicking enemies into spikes, blasting them mid-air, or slamming them into explosive traps. Points that you earn will allow you to unlock new weapons and upgrades, encouraging experimentation with a bizarre arsenal. The energy leash adds another layer, letting you yank enemies into brutal setups. The campaign blends dark humor, betrayal, and mayhem across a world that's both vibrant and ruined. This edition includes all DLCs, Overkill Mode, which unlocks all weapons post-campaign, and an optional Duke Nukem voiceover with new lines. Visuals are upgraded with sharper textures and smoother performance. And beyond the story, there's a solid lineup of challenge and co-op maps to keep the chaos rolling. In The Last of Us Part 1, you will follow hardened survivor Joel across a desolate United States, 20 years after a fungal pandemic has shattered civilization. What begins as a mission to smuggle immune teenager Ellie out of a quarantine zone slowly turns into something far more personal. As they cross abandoned towns and cities overtaken by nature, their relationship evolves from distrust to a fragile, deeply human connection. Throughout their journey, they encounter isolated communities, hostile survivors, and infected creatures twisted beyond recognition. Combat is raw and tense, ammunition is limited, forcing careful planning over brute force. Stealth often takes precedence, with makeshift weapons and crafted tools like Molotovs and medkits offering a fighting chance. Gradually, Ellie grows into a vital companion, helping you in shootouts and grounding the story with her resilience. And when it all builds toward a choice Joel makes, one driven by love, fear, and selfishness, it leaves questions that linger long after the credits roll. Awakening from a century of slumber in a hidden sanctum, you emerge into a shattered realm where the once regal land of Hyrule lies in ruin. Guided by a disembodied voice, you soon learn that Calamity Ganon, sealed within Hyrule Castle, continues to grow in power. With memory lost and the fate of the realm precarious, you take up an ancient tablet that reveals your first true mission: reclaim strength, awaken allies, and restore hope across this devastated kingdom. From the very beginning, freedom becomes your greatest ally. Hyrule stretches before you, a vast tapestry of terrain waiting to be unraveled. Every ridge is climbable, every vista reachable, and almost anything you can see can be scaled or glided from. Weapons corrode with repeated strikes, forcing you to adapt and improvise using everything from swords to spears to environmental hazards. Survival requires resourcefulness. You forage fruit, hunt wildlife, collect monster parts, and experiment with cooking to craft meals or elixirs that heal wounds, energize stamina, or offer resistance to extreme heat or cold. This system deepens strategic choices and keeps each expedition fresh. Narrative unfolds in fragments. Recollections triggered by scattered memories, revelations from survivors, and the journals of those who sacrificed their lives. Every journey through Hyrule becomes a tale woven from discovery, ingenuity, and perseverance. This broken world breathes with life, and only you can restore light to a kingdom lost in shadow. In Batman: The Enemy Within, you will navigate a Gotham City, teetering on the edge of chaos, where allegiances are fragile and every decision carries weight. As Bruce Wayne, you balance the delicate facade of a reformed billionaire with the clandestine operations of Batman, all while contending with the relentless scrutiny of a powerful government agency led by Amanda Waller. Your choices shape your relationships, forcing you to decide how far you're willing to go to protect Gotham. The story progresses with the return of the Riddler, whose cryptic puzzles signal the emergence of a more formidable threat. This leads you into an uneasy alliance with John Doe, a charismatic and unpredictable figure who could eventually become the infamous Joker. As you delve deeper into the underworld, you encounter famous villains such as Harley Quinn, Bane, and Mr. Freeze, each with their own agendas and connections to a shadowy faction within the agency. The story challenges you to navigate a web of deceit, betrayal, and moral ambiguity, where every action can have far-reaching consequences. Gameplay is characterized by its episodic structure, offering a blend of investigative sequences, moral dilemmas, and intense action moments. Quick-time events and dialogue choices further immerse you in the narrative, allowing you to shape Bruce's persona and his approach to justice. Throughout your journey, you confront the complexities of identity and the fine line between heroism and vigilantism. Kingdom Come: Deliverance is an immersive RPG set in the realistic, brutal world of medieval Bohemia. Developed by Warhorse Studios, the game transports players to the 15th century, where they step into the shoes of Henry, a young blacksmith's son whose village is destroyed by invaders. The story follows his quest for vengeance and his role in the larger historical events of the time, drawing inspiration from real historical figures and battles. What sets Kingdom Come: Deliverance apart from other RPGs is its focus on realism. The game features authentic medieval combat, including detailed sword-fighting mechanics, where each weapon has its own unique style and strategy. The world is vast and open. You can traverse lush forests, bustling towns, and grand castles, each brimming with life and dynamic NPCs, which will react to your actions, whether you engaging in combat, stealing, or negotiating. The decisions you make affect how people perceive you and the overall course of the game. In addition to its complex skill-based combat system, the game incorporates deep character development where you hone your skills in various areas. The game also emphasizes crafting, hunting, and survival, offering a truly immersive medieval experience. The Dead Space remake revitalizes the iconic 2008 survival horror game with modern visuals, refined mechanics, and an expanded narrative, making it a must-play for both newcomers and longtime fans. The story remains centered on Isaac Clarke, an engineer sent to the derelict USG Ishimura to repair the mining ship and find his missing girlfriend. What begins as a routine mission quickly descends into terror as the ship is overrun with necromorphs, horrifying alien creatures. This remake preserves the claustrophobic atmosphere of the Ishimura, with its dimly lit, industrial corridors and eerie sound design, amplifying the tension at every turn. The game enhances immersion with real-time UI elements like holographic menus projected from Isaac's suit, keeping you constantly on edge. Combat focuses on dismembering necromorphs using an arsenal of creative tools, such as the iconic plasma cutter and ripsaw blade, offering visceral, satisfying encounters. The remake introduces side missions that delve deeper into the game's lore, particularly Isaac's relationships and the shadowy corporate and religious forces behind the necromorph outbreak. Little Nightmares is a gripping adventure game that invites you in a dark and uncanny world, filled with suspense. You will step into the shoes of Six, a young girl dressed in a yellow raincoat, as she attempts to escape the Maw, a massive, nightmarish vessel populated by grotesque creatures and sinister adults. The game takes place in a series of disturbing environments, each more unsettling than the last, where you must solve puzzles, avoid terrifying enemies, and navigate deadly traps. The central narrative is one of childhood fears, blending whimsical horror with emotional depth. Six's journey through the Maw involves interactions with a variety of horrifying characters, each of whom poses a deadly threat to her survival. The atmosphere is heavy with tension, as you must sneak and hide from enemies, making every moment feel like a terrifying escape. In Senua's saga Hellblade 2, the story picks up with Senua willingly giving herself over to slavers, aiming to infiltrate their ranks and free those who suffer under them. A devastating storm wrecks the ships, leaving her washed ashore in a wild and unforgiving land. In this harsh world, she must face both real threats and the relentless voices and memories that claw at her mind. As she moves deeper into this broken landscape, Senua crosses paths with new companions, former enemies and unlikely allies who each carry their own burdens. Together, they navigate a world gripped by chaos, where once human giants now roam, twisted by suffering and sorrow. Every encounter with these towering creatures becomes more than just a fight for survival. It forces Senua to confront guilt, forgiveness, and the strength it takes to change. Combat is intense and focused, built around fierce one-on-one clashes where timing and precision are crucial. Without the usual screen clutter, every sound and every detail in the environment becomes important, especially the voices that murmur warnings or threats inside Senua's mind. Between battles, moments of quiet puzzle solving challenge you to see the world differently, adding layers to Senua's journey through both physical and mental landscapes. Alan Wake 2 is a survival horror game that follows two protagonists. Alan Wake, a famous novelist trapped in an alternate dimension for 13 years, and FBI Special Agent Saga Anderson, investigating a series of ritualistic murders in Bright Falls. Their paths cross as they uncover dark forces manipulating their reality. The gameplay alternates between Alan and Saga, each navigating eerie environments filled with supernatural enemies. Saga's Mind Place lets players connect clues, while Alan uses the writer's room to change his surroundings by rewriting his story. The game's narrative, atmosphere, and visuals were widely praised, with many considering it one of the best horror games of all times. Alien Isolation is a survival horror game that places players in the shoes of Amanda Ripley, the daughter of the iconic Ellen Ripley. Set 15 years after the original 1979 film, the narrative unfolds aboard the Sevastopol space station, a decommissioned trading hub on the fringes of space. Amanda embarks on a perilous journey to uncover the truth behind her mother's disappearance, only to encounter a deadly alien presence lurking in the shadows. The game emphasizes stealth and resourcefulness. A standout feature of Alien Isolation is its advanced artificial intelligence, which allows the alien to adapt to the player's actions, creating a dynamic and suspenseful experience. The game's retro-futuristic art direction and meticulous attention to detail in the environment design contribute to a convincing science fiction world, with machines and settings that are functional and utilitarian, rather than overtly futuristic. INDIKA is a third-person story-driven game set in an unconventional world, blending religious mysticism with the stark realities of life in an alternate version of 19th century Russia. The game centers on a young nun who embarks on a transformative journey of self-discovery, accompanied by a mysterious companion with horned features. This narrative-driven experience is a deep dive into themes of faith, doubt, and the surreal, wrapped in an evocative and atmospheric setting. You will navigate through a series of profound events as the protagonist struggles with her fading faith, while contending with whispers from the devil himself. The story is laced with dark humor, poignant emotions, and surreal undertones, creating a compelling tapestry that invites introspection and emotional investment. The dialogue, visuals, and environment combine to deliver a thought-provoking exploration of spiritual and existential dilemmas. The gameplay emphasizes storytelling, enriched by the detailed design of the game world, which brings to life the austere yet vibrant depiction of an alternate Russia. The visuals are both haunting and striking, featuring richly detailed architecture, muted yet evocative color palettes, and imaginative designs that echo the surreal tone of the narrative. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel even more, grab me a coffee over at Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description. Catch you in the next one, and thanks for the support.